I've been trading for more than 10 years, and I only just became consistent this year once I fixed my psychology and my internal programming. And so here are 6 things that I do not do in order to maintain consistency in my trading. And so I'm going to share this with you in this video, and hopefully it's going to help you improve in your trading. So make sure you watch this to the end, because at the end I'm going to have a bonus one as well for you, and that's going to change everything in the way you approach your trading, and it's going to make you level up real quick. So let's get started. So the first one is that, and I've said this, I've actually made a whole video on this in the past, but basically the most important one for me is that I don't take signals or trading ideas from anybody else. I don't rely on a signal provider. I don't follow a guru. I don't trade anybody else's trading plan but my own. And this is something you need to do, because this is the real magic. This is what freedom is, right? This is what freedom in trading really is. Because if you have to sit there and wait for someone else to tell you how to think, how to do things, and what to trade, okay, one, you're being lazy. You're being disrespectful to yourself. And two, you're not learning really anything, okay? And three, they're just making money off signals, okay? Or maybe they're not. Maybe they're just really good as well, okay? And there are a lot of really good traders that trade live and give out signals as well. And, you know, you can copy them and whatever, but the thing is, you are not going to be in the same mindset or the same headspace as that person, okay? And so you're never going to get the same results. If you're copying them, most of the time you're not going to be able to hold the trade anyway. So it's better to work on yourself, build your inner confidence, and know your strategy, and then take your own trades, make your own trading plan, and just go from there. Because, you know, it's ultimately down to you. You are the one responsible for everything in your life, including the decisions you make with your trades and the decisions to stop trading once you're up, and the decisions to not revenge trade, to go on a tilt. Everything is down to you, okay? So you have to not rely on anybody else, because that is just the weak and easy way out, okay? And if you're a warrior, if you're the real sniper, you're not weak, okay? So you got to think for yourself, and this is a very, very important lesson that I'm giving you here, okay? So don't take trading ideas from other traders, okay? It's just going to confuse you. It's going to make you, it's not going to make you, it's not going to build you into the person that you should be, okay? I mean, if you have your own trading ideas and you come up with your own trades, you're not going to win all of them, okay? You're going to mess up, but you're going to learn. You see, you're going to remember it a lot more. And that's the only way you're going to grow. So that's number one. Number two is, I rarely add to my position, even when my trades are in profit. I don't randomly add more trades or more size, more lots into that trade to try and quote unquote maximize profits. I don't do that unless I've minimized the risk from the first entry, from the first trade. Does that make sense? So unless it's a free trade and I've taken profits already, okay, and or I've moved stops to break even, so it's a risk-free trade, unless that happens, I'm not even looking to add more, okay? So I have to make sure that it's a completely free trade before I even add more, okay? And to be honest, I don't even bother adding more. Like, I'm so good with my profit targets and my risk to reward ratios that I'm happy to just, take a 2 hour trade and be done. Okay, be done and dusted with that trade, and then move on to the next um, opportunity, to the next setup. You see, if you're not greedy and you come from an abundant place, so you're trading from abundance, not lack, then you don't really need to add into positions to maximize your wins, okay? Thinking that, oh my God, there's no more setups coming. That's just lack. That's greed and lack, and that never ends well, trust me, okay? I'm telling you this from more than 10 years of experience, okay? So that's number two. Number three is that if you want to stay consistent, you got to control your emotions, and you better be sure that you don't revenge trade. So, not every trade is going to be a win, okay? And that is totally okay. You have to know how to deal with your losses without losing your shit, without losing your mind. And this is a huge one because as um, you know, amateur traders, they're not aware of this potential spiral, this tilt, okay? And I can speak from experience because that was me for a long time in my journey. Like, I would take a loss and then I would just, my ego would be so hurt, and I try to fix it there and then and get into a revenge tilt and just continue trading for the rest of the day. And then, one trade becomes 10. And by the end of the day, you're completely exhausted emotionally and your brain is fried. And so is your account. Your account is fried too. You've blown it. Okay. And so never revenge trade. Just make it a simple rule to have one trade per day. If you have one trade per day, how could you revenge trade? You see what I mean? So if your one trade per day is done, right, and you took a loss, you accept it. You deal with it. You just know that that's part of your your odds. Okay, that's your win rate. Okay, so that's very important. If you want to stay consistent, don't go on a crazy tilt and start revenge trading. That's going to completely destroy any of your consistency because you're not going to respect your rules now. You're not going to honor your process on getting into trades. You're just going to chase whatever setup you think you see. Okay, so you're going to be induced into taking bad trades, and then that's where you lose all of your consistency. So you don't want to do that. Everything has to be pre-planned. Okay, you have a clear plan, you know your setup, and you execute when you see it, and you deal with the outcome. You accept whatever happens, happens. You don't control nothing. Okay, so that is number three. Number four is that I don't trade the news. Okay, so I'm not one of those gambling traders that you see trying to make it big on non-farm payrolls or interest rates or whatever type of big red news that's coming out. Like, that stuff is just risky because those days, those events are super, super manipulated. Nothing works. Nothing is working, okay? Everything might look bullish, and then you go long, and then boom, the news comes out, and it went bearish against you, and you couldn't even, your stops didn't even activate, and you've blown your account in one bad news event, okay? Being on the wrong side of that trade because things are moving so fast that there's a lot of slippage. It's not worth it, okay? It's better to sit on the sideline and wait for the market to show its hand, okay? Because news events are not consistent. I mean, it's just, you can't predict it. Nothing's working, okay? So if you want to be consistent, wait for after the news, and then you get into your position if you see it, okay? And it could be right after the news or the next day, okay? But also, I'm also very aware that weeks that have news, big news events, there's a lot of consolidation prior to the news. Okay, so there's a lot of building up of positions from the institutions. They're getting into big positions. They know what they're doing. They know which way to go. They all got the memo, but you didn't get the memo. Okay, and that's a huge distinction. Okay, so you don't want to be playing that game. Okay, trade what you know and trade what you have practiced, your edge. Okay, that is what you want to trade, not the news. Okay, news trading to me is a very rookie move. It's very amateur and it's very dangerous. Okay, and you should not do it. Okay, and also a lot of prop firms don't allow it. So if you're thinking that you can scalp some news event there, then and there, you're gonna blow your account. You're gonna lose your account. They'll get rid of you real quick because it's gambling. Okay, there's no skill there. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5 is quite simple. Okay, if you want to be consistent, you don't flinch. You don't hesitate. Now, that means you know what you're looking for, and when you see a setup, you let go of the past. You let go of yesterday's losses if you had any, or yesterday's wins, or whatever state of mind that you could be in from outside, and you focus on what is in front of you, present and now. And if you see your trade, you take it. You don't have to think. You should just be able to take it without having this nervous system breakdown. Okay, without going into like this doubt and this freezing with over analysis and just not knowing what to do. Okay, it's basically you have a nervous system reaction there, and it's your brain is fight or flight mode, and you have all of these negative patterns that are being triggered because you just took a loss, and or you could be in a drawdown, so you're freezing. You're not really sure of yourself, and then you can't take the trade, and then the trade goes without you, and it's a win. Yeah, and that will actually trigger a negative chain of events, because now you didn't take a trade, but now you missed a trade, and now you're in a revenge mode again. So now you're trying to make up for what you missed, and then now you're not taking the best trades. So that is also very important. If you want to work on hesitation, we have a module for that as well, a full module to clear any doubt and hesitation that is underlying within your subconscious. We can clear that out. It's the first link in the description if you want to check it out. So yeah, number six is, if you want to stay consistent, stick to your plan. Never trade when you're bored. Okay, like trading out of boredom is like the worst thing a trader can do. Okay, that's like super rookie, super amateur, super unprofessional behavior. It's childlike. It's very immature to be trading because you're bored, because you want to do something, because you need stimulation. If you have no self-awareness at that point. Okay, so never trade because you're bored, because your old identity and your old belief system thinks that, oh, you need to hustle harder and do more, and more trades is going to make more money, and you're at that point, you're just forcing trades, you're breaking your rules, you're not honoring your process. So don't trade out of boredom. Okay, it never ends well. Okay, and the worst part is, if you trade out of boredom and you win, now you're creating bad habits. You see how that works? Now you're creating bad habits that are not good. They're not long-term habits. Okay, so you have to have the awareness and have the discipline to be patient. Okay, to wait for your actual A+ setup. Okay, so that's also where the 1 trade per day rule that I came up with is very effective, because it stops you from trading from boredom. Okay, having when your guru tells you that, oh, you can take 2 or 3 trades a day, right, is the worst advice that anybody can give you, because that opens the door to 5 or 6 trades a day. Okay, you'll never stop at 2 or 3. If you can't stop at 1, what makes you think you're going to stop at 5? You see what I mean? The only reason you stop at 5 is when you've blown your account and you can't trade anymore. Okay, so very important lesson there. Okay, don't trade when you're bored. And so if you made it this far, congratulations. You are obviously a warrior. You're obviously very committed to improving yourself and making yourself better as a trader, and you understand the inner workings is what is really important. It's not strategy, as you know, it's psychology, it's mindset. This is what really is important. So here's the bonus one for you, because you've made it this far. Don't obsess over charts. Okay, don't look at your P&L. Never worry about the money or worry about a trade after you've taken it. Okay, so because what it's going to do is, like, the market's going to move, it's going to pull back, it's going to move, it's going to pull back. All of this, if you keep staring at your phone, your trading view, once you've taken a trade, it's going to play tricks on your mind. Okay, it's going to make you create doubt and impatience, and then that's when you start to do stupid things like close your position early, move your stops early, and basically screw up a perfectly good trade. Okay, you need to trust in your ability, in your edge, in your trading and your setups through, lots of back testing and forward testing, and having the proof to know that what you're doing is working, and just to be okay with the outcome, okay, and not attach to it and not obsess over it. So what I do is, I'm very simple. I see my setup, I don't hesitate, I take the trade, and then I close the computer and I'm done. I don't want to hang around. I don't want to know nothing. I don't want to micromanage. I'm not interested. I close everything and I come back the next day. Okay, and the next day is just a quick peek to see where everything is. Okay, or maybe the trade is finished, hit the TP, or it got stopped out, whatever. Okay, so those are things that I would do there. Also, other things that you can do so that you don't have to keep obsessing over your charts is to put alerts. So you put an alert on the stop loss, and you put an alert on your take profits, so that if you don't get an alert, then you don't need to go back and look at the charts. Does that make sense? So that's another very good habit to create. So creating the alert, so you take your trade and then you go live your life, and then maybe 2 days later, you get your alert. Oh, okay, boom, the trade hit TP, fine. Okay, then you go back and look at the charts and have a look and see where you're at, right? And then do your journaling. But at the minimum, right, you don't come back till the next day. Okay, so take that trade, like Alex says, set and forget. That's very wise words. Okay, and I agree with that. Okay, so just forget about the trade, and just go live your life. Okay, so those are 6 things that I don't do, okay, in order to stay consistent. And there's a few other things. There's a lot of other things, actually. But those were the 6 things and 7 things that are at the top of my mind that are very important. Okay, and I wanted to share that with you. So if you want to work on your mindset or your trading psychology and reprogramming yourself, then check out the first link in the description. That's what we do. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, like and subscribe, drop your comments below. Let me know where you're at with your trading. But until the next video, you're on your own. Take care now. Goodbye.